Hey everyone, this is Nathan Nootbaar with NSMA, joined with Kent Summers with the Arizona Republic down in Phoenix. He is the Sports Writer of the Year for the state of Arizona. Good to have you here, Kent.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Awesome. So yeah, just gonna kick things off right away. Kind of just this past year, or I guess past few years for you. You told me before we went on recording that you're recently retired. So kind of just give a little summary on like the back end of your career and kind of just where you're at now.
Yeah, it's been interesting and it's been nice. I worked at the Arizona Republic 38 years and as a journalist, mostly of as a sports writer for 42. So the last 5 years at the Republic, I was a general sports columnist, and pretty much the 20 to 25 years before that, the main Cardinals beat writer. So most of my background was, for the majority of my careers with the NFL, but and the Cardinals. But it was a great career and a great run. But it's also nice to be retired.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. During your time with the Cardinals, were there any specific players you love covering or talking with after games and stuff? Anyone that maybe the average person wouldn't expect? I don't know.
Yeah, oh wow, there were so many, because I started like in the early 90s. My first year on the beat was Buddy Ryan's first year as head coach.
Okay.
So I was covering like one of the biggest personalities, not only of that time, but in NFL history.
Right.
And so you never knew what to expect day to day from him. So that was interesting and a lot of fun and challenging. Then, players along the way, covered some great ones, Hall of Famers in Aeneas Williams, Kurt Warner, covered Pat Tillman,
Oh wow.
he
Yeah.
was a seventh round pick of the Cardinals and making the conversion from NFL or a college linebacker to NFL safety.
Mhm.
Covered the story. I remember the coach calling us in the day and said three of the beat writers called us in and said, "You're not going to believe this. Pat Tillman has decided to join the Army
Right.
instead of playing the NFL." So, I mean, it goes on to covering Larry Fitzgerald throughout his NFL career and what will be a Hall of Fame career, and also a lot of bad football. I mean, there were a lot of 3, 4, 5 win seasons. To the point that when they went to the Super Bowl after the 2008 season, it was pretty incredible because not many people thought, that organization was ever going to get there.
Right. Gosh, what year was that they made the Super Bowl against the Steelers? Was
It was
that
a 2008 season.
wow,
Yeah.
all the way back in '08, so it's been a minute, but you got there one.
Yeah. They just went on a fabulous run and obviously people around here were thrilled. And I got asked the question all the time, "Oh, are you enjoying this? This seems like a lot more work for you." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I covered way too many 4 and 12 seasons not to not to enjoy covering a season like this, an incredible run." I mean, I was just kind of riding the wave.
That's awesome. So yeah, going back to even the earlier days, right? So how did you get into beat writing and allowed yourself to really be good at it, clearly good enough to have a 38-year career in it. So
Well, I mean, I just sort of fell into it. I transferred to Utah State like for my junior senior year, and the student newspaper just had a display up, a table up, trying to recruit writers, and they were offering like 3 credit hours, and there were a couple of really attractive girls who were on staff that they had there, and so I was like, well, sign me up. And then I just kind of fell in love with it and also ended up marrying one of those girls.
oh, that's
So
awesome.
yeah,
Wow.
I worked a couple of jobs in Utah. Worked at the Ogden Standard Examiner, a daily paper in Ogden, Utah, which was with a great bunch of writers and editors, and got to do a ton of stuff at a small paper that I probably wouldn't have been able to do elsewhere. And then moved to Phoenix in 1985, and luckily got on with the Republic and worked my way up from covering community news and high schools and junior colleges and Northern Arizona University,
Mhm.
and just ended up staying here and just kind of moved around in terms of beats and enjoyed all of them.
Right. Wow, that's really all incredible stuff. So I'm someone who's aspiring to go into this industry myself, right? I'm not going to go too much into detail about myself, but so for someone who's interested in this type of career, right? What advice would you give to a student, college days or even high school student that wants to pursue a career in this industry?
Just even, as a student, just get experience, volunteer to do everything, get involved, you know, work for whatever news service you can, offer to go cover high school football games or basketball games for the local outlet.
Yeah,
And I know there aren't as many of those options today that there were when I was coming up, which is sad, but I still think there are options, and get to know people, network, and be willing to do anything. And when you do get an internship, or when you do start, be humble enough to know you don't know everything.
right,
And to be open to everything, and be the person that says, hey, I'll do that. It may be the crappiest job or the crappy assignment, but maybe you can make something of it and get somebody's attention.
right. No, it's all great advice. Thank you endlessly for that. Just some other, so I mean, we kind of covered a lot of your career, from the early to the end. I mean, are there any other like thoughts that, you might want to share with the people at NSMA watching this and other things like that?
Wow, I just look back on it and feel really fortunate that, things broke for me really nicely in a lot of different ways. I moved to Arizona and was able to get hired by the biggest paper here. Uh, I was part-time, nobody ever left on the staff, it seemed like. I didn't know if I was ever going to be not part-time. And then a writer left to sell insurance, and
Yeah.
I filled his job. Uh, and just like when I started on the NFL beat, we had a couple of veteran, really bulldog reporters, and Steve Schoenfeld and Lloyd Herberg, who took me under their wing and taught me a lot, about what it took to be a beat writer, how to approach the job,
Mhm.
et cetera. A lot of editors that I had who were very good. I was just very fortunate. Not that there weren't some challenges along the way, and not that the business isn't the one I left,
Mhm.
that there were a lot of challenges in that business, and the future of
Mhm.
newspapers and media outlets and sports outlets, et cetera. It can be a little depressing or daunting, but I think young people, like yourself, are going to hopefully define the industry going forward, and maybe find new reporting paths, new ways to tell a story,
Mhm.
um, and all of those things. I'm hopeful from that standpoint.
Right. Yeah, that's all really good things. So, kind of just to wrap things up, this is your fifth award. Is there any way that makes this one feel more special than the ones before, or is it just another year?
Well, probably because it's the last one
Yeah,
since I
true.
retired.
Right.
I didn't expect this stuff, but I don't know if it's a going away gift from somebody, a nice parting gift or whatever, but it's really nice. And Arizona is not a big state, but we have some really good writers in this state, and to be picked for this is as humbling, the fifth time as it was the first time.
Right. I can't name anyone more deserving. So, congratulations, Kent. Thank you for having this interview. Yeah, we wish you the best of luck in your retirement, and hopefully, we'll see you at the NSMA Awards on the last weekend of June.
Great. Thanks, Nathan.
Thank you.